So before we get to Bradley Beal, there's a new Sporting Logically podcast with me and Tucker, aka Sporting Logically, that you can find in the description as well as the pinned comment on this video. We mainly just preview the upcoming season, pretty much, standings, awards, all that stuff. So Wizards fans won today, as they now don't have to deal with assholes like me speculating on where their star player is going to get traded, because Bradley Beal just re-signed a 2-year extension to stretch him out into at least after the 2022 season. There's a player option for the 2023 season. He could decline that and then get, according to Woj, like $260 million over 5 years, which is insanity. But yeah, he's going to be here for a while, and he cannot be traded over the next year because of NBA rules and all that. So I think the first thing this says is the NBA as a whole needs to shift over who they think could be the next star trade candidate. But it also says Bradley Beal just really likes Washington and he wants to be here. And I guess there was a quote where he said he wants to be with the Wizards his whole career. But even then, he has to realize the situation with the Wizards at this very moment is not ideal, is one way to put it. But this gives the Wizards time to actually turn this whole thing around. Now, if John Wall could come back and be good, that would be awesome. Whether that happens or not, he's going to be on this team, so there's still things they have to overcome. But they at least can kind of relax now. Yeah, they can see how good Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura, Troy Brown, Mo Wagner, Jordan McRae, they can see how good all of these guys are, right? And they can build those dudes up, and they can be potential trade assets, or they can be dudes that they can hold on to, and Bradley Beal is going to be at the center of all of that. And for what it's worth, I think the Wizards could be in a position to make moves this season. Now, whether they want to build through the draft or just try to be as good as possible, don't know. And also, we don't know what their real plans are in free agency. As of right now, they're committed to $104 million when this season ends. And I don't think there's anybody who's a must re-sign. I mean, they got Mahimi's deal finally coming off. CJ Miles is a 1-year. Davis Bertans is a 1-year. Now, all those dudes are tradable. And because the Wizards have all their first-round picks, you might be able to actually get yourself a player back who is maybe on a multi-year deal, and you can just cement yourself a good player from some other team. I don't know, but even then, this team dealing first-round picks can be a bit of a gamble, so that has to be taken into account. And there's a chance that they just kind of want to run into the offseason with sort of a clean slate. I mean, at $104 million, they would have, according to RealGM.com, the salary cap is going to be $116 million for the 2020/2021 season. So at 116, they'd have $12 million to play with, which, I mean, that's not much, but it's still better than not having anything because of Mahimi's contract and whatever else. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much of an avenue for them to have a lot of money in cap space just because of John Wall's contract, but there is still wiggle room nonetheless. So, if they manage to have a few things go their way, if one of these young dudes can be something, and with Rui, I don't know, I haven't really looked much into the dude. Troy Brown Jr., I've been kind of singing his praises as a tall dude who can make plays, but they barely played him in his rookie season, so that could be that they were just kind of dumb. That could be that he's not that good. I don't know. But if one of those two hits, or if both of them hit, and then you've got some money to play with, and perhaps there's a chance Bradley Beal keeps on improving, then perhaps this team can be going somewhere. I mean, is there a chance that they could be a part of some huge trade? Probably not. I mean, I don't think anyone's taken the John Wall contract, and clearly they're not going to move Beal, so it's I don't know there. But they could do a bunch of smart, savvy, under-the-radar things to get themselves to a 45-win team, and then, that's pretty good based on where this could have gone if they had to trade Beal and all that. As far as the distant future now, like once this contract is up or close to it, like is there a chance Beal could still be moved if the next couple of years don't go their way? I mean, yes, of course, but I don't know. I think Beal deciding to do this has to make all of us like push the stop button a little bit and just be like, well, we can't really assume that a trade is going to come here. Like, if Beal wanted to get moved, I think this would have been the time to make that known. So, I don't know. I'm not really going to assume anything with Bradley Beal and the Wizards, besides the fact that Beal clearly wants to be here and he's willing to give them time to figure it out. As far as whether you trust the organization to figure it out or not, that's a different conversation, but they got Bradley Beal for a few more years, so mission accomplished. Now, I do want to talk about John Wall a little bit more, because while all the other things are important, surrounding Beal with talent, hoping some of these young dudes are good, I think John Wall is still the most important what if here, because he's the reason they can't do anything in free agency. I mean, even in 2022, where they're apparently going to have $105 million committed if they do absolutely nothing for the next couple of years, they're still only going to have like $20 million in room, which, I mean, that can get you a player, but you know what I mean. Is John Wall going to be good when he comes back? Not only that, is he going to be content with giving Beal the reins? Because, I mean, you could argue that John Wall should have held back for Beal like 3 years ago when they both scored 23 a game. I mean, like, John Wall shot 18 times a game that season, Bradley Beal shot 17 times, and Beal was significantly more efficient than Wall. Now, that was pre-injury John Wall, so it's a little different. Now I think, like, do we know if he's even going to have the burst to get to the free throw line like that? Because at least back then, like, Wall, he shot 7 free throws a game that season. Is he going to be able to do that now? I mean, it's a tough sell. I mean, we really don't know. He could come back and be in the best shape of his life, and athletically he's looking how he looked whenever he's been at his best. But I'm hesitant to say that's going to happen. So it might be better if John Wall just comes back and is content with scoring like 17 a game, which I think would, you know, potentially allow him to actually be like a better player in some ways, because probably be a little more efficient, and it would allow Beal to just do more Bradley Beal things, and you know, he might have more energy on defense, because at one time John Wall was one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So yeah, all that stuff is something. But I don't know, maybe John Wall's going to come back and he's like, all right guys, move out of the way, I'm chucking 20 shots a night. I don't really know, but he's still the most important thing in all this, because again, they don't really have a lot of ways to get dudes besides draft picks and savvy trades and all that stuff. So, yeah. Still though, it's a win for the Wizards. It's a win for them. It's a win for Wizards fans. It's a loss for the Miami Heat. And potentially me, because I'm not going to be able to milk any Bradley Beal trade views. But Bradley Beal's well-being is more important than me getting a couple extra views on the tube. So I'm happy for him. Happy for him. Happy for everybody involved. And we'll just see what happens from here. And then one more time, new Sporting Logically podcast with me and Tucker, also known as Sporting Logically. Description, pinned comment, and yeah.